Dave, 10-year intellectual property attorney, dealing with everything from patents, trademarks, copyrights. And it was interesting because one of the sessions that we had earlier today was talking about IP, talking about IP enforcement, as well as the importance of not only having your intellectual property, but knowing different ways to be able to enforce your intellectual property to get bad actors taken down and dealt with appropriately. So it's been good. A lot of information given. This is the final day, and we're going live. So we were live yesterday for a little bit, and then it's the third day live. And I got some cool guests for you guys lined up. The first one here is my man, Rocky, the CEO, the founder of Snapslide. Let me bring him up, and we're going to ask him a little bit of questions. Let's see here. There you go, Rocky. Can you hear me?
What's up, Dave?
What's going on, man? Look, first and foremost, I have to say thank you. I know yesterday we were looking to do this, and we had to kind of push it back today until today, and that kind of affected the golf routine. So I appreciate you still hopping on with me. Hopefully, you still get a chance to go golfing. If not earlier today, if you get a chance to go golfing a little later after this. But again, I guess as always, can you maybe explain a little bit of Snapslide and what that entails, what it is that you guys are doing, and the product that you have created?
Yeah, Dave. Good to be here, man. I did actually get 9 in this morning on the simulator, so I got it in. So thanks for fitting me in here. So I'm Rocky Batesell. I'm the inventor and CEO of Snapslide. What we did is revolutionize the packaging industry. You know, those child-resistant closures that everybody hates, they haven't evolved in over 50 years. So I tweaked it. I invented a new way to open and close things. Requires a lot less force and dexterity and allows you to open it with one hand. Great for people that stroke victims, hemiparesis, amputees, neuromuscular disorders. We have a demographic of about 15 million people out there in the U.S. alone that could only operate things with one arm. So I felt it was very important to give accessibility to them and change something that hasn't been done in 50 years.
No, and again, one of the things I like about your products and then products in general, I know here in the U.S., a lot of times we buy stuff that we don't necessarily need or just we buy it just to buy it. But your product is one of those ones that actually is doing a greater good, helping out people, like you said, amputees, people who have limits in terms of what they can do for whatever reason. They are still able to get the necessary medicine, things like that, even though they have limited means or limited capabilities. So I love the fact that you kind of are through your invention, through your product, is solving a greater good. What was the inspiration behind Snapslide, and what made you think about that? Because again, it seems like you are of somebody that has kind of the full faculties, the full capabilities to do different things, whether it's opening pill bottles or whatever the case may be. So what was your inspiration to say, okay, let me kind of first invent this thing and bring it to the market to help out others?
Yeah, so I was a medical student. I left medical school to pursue entrepreneurial ventures. My heart wasn't in it anymore in medical school. So like a lot of entrepreneurs, you're not feeling the school. So it's a hard leap. You leave and you go into the wild abyss of the unknown. It takes, it's risky, but you do it. So during this time I was tinkering, trying to find my way. And my mom came to me and was like, Rock, if you want to think of something for these pill bottles. Graham can't get into them. My mom has to open them for her. She leaves them on the counter, and then the pills spill all over the place. And then she engages the CR, the child resistance, and the whole process starts all over again. So I thought that was interesting, and I started looking and realized that child resistant closures haven't changed in over 50 years, like I said. And it's one of the most widely used items on the planet, whether it's your prescription medication or your Tylenol and over-the-counter drugs, or even household chemicals. They come in child-resistant packaging. And they're always some sort of torque-dependent operation that requires a huge amount of force and dexterity to operate. Even if you have 2 arms, if you have arthritis, you have limited strength, you can't do it. And I'm an able-bodied guy, but I still didn't like them. I'm like, yeah, these things, they're a pain. There's got to be a better way. So
For sure.
So I started thinking, and I invented a simple mechanical operation that allows you that uses a lot less force and dexterity and still maintains child resistance. And that's when it came into my head, that was step one. And then the journey started from there in terms of the IP, the development, the business side of things. And like I said, I was a medical student, so it was kind of on the ground learning for me.
I got you. No, and that's great. So then again, I have to ask you this because we are at the Shark Tank, or I am at the Shark Tank conference here in Tampa, Florida. How has Shark Tank, if at all, inspired you too? Because it seems like, again, Shark Tank has been around for 16 years, and everybody at some point in time has caught a Shark Tank episode. So how has Shark Tank, the show, inspired you kind of throughout your journey?
It's funny you say that because I used to watch Shark Tank early on a lot. Between when I left medical school, I didn't have a job. I was working. I finally got a job. I was working part-time loading trucks for UPS. I had to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, load these trucks, and then leave. And then I donated plasma, right? So to pay the bills. So I'd come home and it'd be like 8 in the morning. I'm beat. And I lay on the couch for a little bit, and what was always on are reruns of Shark Tank. So that was like my routine. Go to UPS, load trucks, donate some plasma for another $50 a week, and then chill out for a couple hours and watch Shark Tank in the morning. And I learned a lot. It was seeing how it worked. A lot of people don't realize the mechanics behind like the scenes. They see a product and they're like, all right, there it is. But a lot of work, a lot of stuff went into that to get it to that point. And obviously capital is a huge factor. It's kind of like the fuel that drives the truck or races the car. You could have a Ferrari, a great idea. People will run it, everything. But if you don't have the gas in the tank, it's not going anywhere. And that fuel is, in the business world, that's the capital, baby. You need that dough. So I learned a lot.
No, and I was going to say, in the case of a Ferrari, you'll definitely need a lot of capital to kind of keep that thing going. Let me ask you this, and maybe I know you touched on it a little bit. How has IP played a role in your companies, particularly patents? I love the name Snapslide. I think that's a catchy name. I know they were talking earlier about kind of being creative with the name to kind of capture people's attention. And specifically with your company, I know patents has played a big part or is a big part of it. So can you tell me a little bit about the role of IP specifically with regard to your company?
Patents are huge, man. And you're the IP guy, when you have an idea and you realize that it's not out there, you have to protect it. And it's a process. So when I first came up with it, after I did my own searches, always do as much as you can on your own, until you have to spend some dough on the experts. So I spent weeks researching child-resistant closures, Google searches, Google images, thousands of pages worth of Google pages to see patent searches. You can do patent searches on Google Patents. It's a nice way to do it. I know the USPTO website is kind of complicated, but Google Patents is a good way to kind of find out if there's anything similar. So do your due diligence as much as you can do on your own. So once I saw that there wasn't anything out there, I had to go and figure out how to do this patent stuff. So it was big. It was the most important thing to start is to protect what you have. And you could do it for relatively inexpensive through provisional patents. You got a provisional patent at first, which for a micro entity, a smaller company, it's only like I don't know what it is now. You would know, Dave. But it was like $110 for me back then.
Yep, just over $100. Exactly. So I know the fees just went up with the USPTO. Uncle Sam always wants or the federal government always kind of wants to nickel and dime you, but micro entity, small entity is relatively inexpensive, particularly for, like you said, a provisional application.
Yep. So that's what I did. I submitted the provisional, and once that provisional was submitted, I was able to now present it to companies, kind of find out how to develop it. I was a little bit more, I felt a little safer since I had the provisional out there. So now you could start actually developing, working the business alliances out, without always non-disclosures. You want those NDAs in place. You want to still back yourself up. But once a provisional is in, you kind of have that freedom, if you will, and that safety to go out and do what you have to do. Everybody, I talked to a lot of entrepreneurs that are starting out, and they're so paranoid about like presenting their idea. And I think that's a big hurdle that you have to surpass. You have to get past it, because you'll be spinning your wheels forever. You have the best idea in the world, but if you're just locked in and you're like, I can't tell anybody, you're not going to go anywhere. So you got to pull the trigger and start the process even before it's patented. And the best way to do that is through provisional patents and, do what you could do.
No, and I love that, man. I think provisional patent applications are one of those things that is underrated by a lot of people, but it's an inexpensive way, as you talked about, to kind of protect what it is that you're doing, so that you can kind of figure out how to develop it, maybe get some money to kind of carry on the process for you. And so that's a cool thing. And let me kind of get you up out of here with this one. And appreciate the time. I know your product is a little different. Typically, I'll ask, hey, how can people kind of purchase the product? What can they do it? But yours is different because it is a pill bottle, which typically, for the most part, if somebody's encountering a pill bottle or having a pill bottle, it's because they're going to buy it from a Walgreens, a CVS, a pharmacy, something along those lines. So I guess, how can people help you get your Snapslide bottle into the hands of others? Because again, this is not just for, I know we talked about people of limited means, and but again, people who, you and I, who got both arms or whatever the case may be, or hands, they can still kind of have kind of use the pill bottle, which is cool, because now I can have one hand free while the other one is open, I don't have to kind of twist and kind of apply all this force to kind of the bottle to open it and kind of get the medicine or whatnot out of it. So how can people help you get this into the hands of kind of everybody, or kind of be more of a standard for kind of pill bottles going forward?
Yep, and that's our goal, to kind of paradigm shift in child-resistant closures. It's a simple technology, so it's price neutral. It uses a ton less plastic, and it's just better. Go check us out on snapslide.com. Check out what we have, and you'll see it. It's better mechanics for whether you have a disability or if you're just if you're fine. It's just easier and better for you. You don't have to worry about dropping the cap anymore.
For sure.
Check us out on our Facebook, Snapslide Facebook. Leave us a message and go to your pharmacy and say, "Yo, I want the Snapslide in our pharmacy," because that's what we're doing. We're just establishing this coalition of people, because it's a consumer product. Consumers use it every day, but it's a B2B.
Right.
Our customers are the businesses, the pharmacies, and we get a lot of resistance from them, because they could say all day long that they want accessibility, that they want sustainability, they want to innovate, but I've learned that they're pretty resistant to that. So just establishing that coalition and pushing it through, because it just makes sense. So
gotcha.
Voices. We need voices.
And you heard them. So you heard Rocky. Definitely Snapslide. Go to the website. Go to your local pharmacist. Tell them that you need Snapslide pill bottle in the pharmacy. Whether or not, like you said, you're somebody with a disability, or you have all your kind of hands and arms and things like that, this is something that we all can take advantage of, because we all use it, some type of medicine bottle, pill bottle, on a daily basis, whether it's headache medicine, whether it's medicine from a doctor, whatever the case may be. So this is something that we all can kind of take advantage of. So definitely get the word out there to Snapslide. And I guess maybe last question, Rocky. I know we have some football going on today. Who do you have? You have the Commanders, Eagles, or the Buffalo Bills, Kansas City? Who do you have going to the Super Bowl?
I have the Bills, and I have the Eagles.
There you go.
Then, I have the Bills taking it.
I got it. I like that. Well, thanks again, Rocky, for giving some time.
Good games.
Say that again.
It's going to be good games. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah,
Who do you have, Dave?
Well, I have Buffalo and the Eagles going, and man, I got the Eagles. I want Jalen Hurts and those boys to get one. But I wouldn't be mad if Josh Allen gets him one. He's been kind of at it for a long time, trying to get past that monster and Patrick Mahomes over there in Kansas City. So wouldn't be mad if he ended up winning it all.
Got to get by them.
For sure. Yep. Well,
all
again,
right,
I don't want to take up too much. Go ahead.
Appreciate it.
No, absolutely. Thanks again for this, Rocky, and hopefully you get a chance to get some golfing in before game time here this afternoon.
You got it, man. I'm gonna get you some Snapslides, Dave.
Oh, for sure.
I'm gonna send you some. Shoot me your address. I'm gonna send you a couple Snapslides. Okay.
No, I appreciate that because I'll definitely, like I said, you're one of those products that is not only cool and simple, but again, with it doing having a bigger or greater good to the society, I was like, definitely, I'm gonna send you the address soon as kind of we get done here, so that you can send me a couple, because I would love to help you kind of promote this thing and get this thing out there, get the word of Snapslide out there.
Get the word out, establish a coalition, baby.
Yes, sir. All right, Rocky.
All right, Dave. Thanks for having me, man.
Yep, absolutely.
Appreciate
Thanks for the time here. Yep.
Take care. Anytime. Later.
Yep. Later. So we are back. We're waiting for the next guest. Again, there was some pretty cool things that I was able to kind of take away from this conference over the past couple of days. Actually, yesterday, day 2, was able to talk to the founder of College Hunks Haul and Junk. You may have heard or seen one of those trucks near your college campus or in your neighborhood. Nick Freeman, he was amazing. We're supposed to do an interview here, a podcast interview coming up, and this company is projected to do $300 million in 2025. They did over $200 million in revenue last year, so they're killing it. Over 4,000 employees, got the franchises in kind of different states throughout the country, so they're killing it. The actual first day, I was able to kind of talk a little bit with Chris Gronkowski. You may heard of that name, Gronkowski, Rob Gronkowski's brother. Chris played in the NFL too. He has a product, Ice Shaker, that has been doing well, been killing the game. So Chris Gronkowski, definitely go check out Ice Shaker and what he has. He was able to give some great information about kind of that transition from NFL player, professional athlete to kind of creator, inventor. And I was talking to a gentleman earlier, Greg, and he was like, hey, the athlete, the person who already got the capital, that's going to see that more of a trend where now they're kind of utilizing that capital, utilizing that audience that they have to now kind of create and kind of invent different products, create different products and kind of get them out there. So you'll definitely see that kind of more so, at least in my opinion, as well as Greg's opinion, over the next 5 or 10 years with these athletes. What they say, the NFL athlete only has, 2 to 3 year time or lifespan. So I definitely think you're going to see more of those athletes start to create and invent different products and kind of get them in the hands of the people and really kind of bypassing the marketing or hey, I'm a big brand and I'm going to pay you to kind of promote my product. I think that's going to start to go away over the next 5 or 10 years. You're going to see, hey, these influencers or these kind of athletes who already have the eyeballs come up with their own product and they're going to promote their product as opposed to the product of a big brand or a big company. So kind of, we'll see if I'm right, but that's kind of my take on that over the next 5 or 10 years. So be on the lookout for that. We're waiting for our next guest. Hey, Steven, I want to ask you, I know we had May here. What did she say about coming over? Did she say cool? I know I see her right there. So I know I see her right. But we want to wait because I'm supposed to have somebody. Let's wait for a little bit because I know Isaac with the Hype Leanks, he's supposed to come on here at 12:30. So let's give him a couple more minutes. But again, hey, we're at live day 3 of the Shark Tank conference. That's filled with Shark Tank guests. It was, again, from day 1 to day 2. It was amazing guests that came and spoke and that I was able to kind of connect with and network with. We're on day 3 of the last day of the Shark Tank conference, and it's supposed to be a big party tonight. So definitely looking forward to the party. We're live here, and again, like I said, waiting on our next guest, Isaac, the founder of the Hype Leanks. Now, just a little bit about the Hype Leanks before Isaac comes on. He has over 300,000 followers on Instagram, and he has trademarked on the Hype Leanks, on Nothing But Sneakers. And yours truly helped him get those trademarks on his brand so that he can kind of take it to the next level and make sure that his brand is protected. Again, go check him out on Instagram, the Hype Leaks. Young kid, killing it. College, I think he's a senior in college out there in Arizona. Over 300,000 followers, and some of your favorite athletes follow him, from Derrick Henry, some professional baseball players follow his page and getting the latest and greatest as it relates to drops that's going on in that kind of shoe community. So yeah, he's a pretty big deal. Let's see. It seems like this is him. This is him texting me, so I'm telling him that he can join on. So yeah, he should be popping on any second. Now here we go. So this is Isaac. We're going to be bringing him up and kind of talking to him a little bit about his business and IP. So,
hey, what's
Isaac?
up? How's it going, man?
Man, it's going pretty good, man. We're at the Shark Tank reunion. I was telling him a little bit about kind of what you have going on with the Hype Leaks. But in case I didn't do a good enough job, can you explain for the audience what it is that you have created with the Hype Leaks?
Yeah, of course. So basically, the simple breakdown of it is that it's a media company entirely dedicated towards sneakers. We specialize mainly in info and releases regarding future releases, but we cover a wide variety of content, whether it's custom artwork done by artists or anything happening within the sneaker industry, whether it's companies like StockX, Foot Locker, that sort of thing.
So let me ask you this, because again, you have over 300,000 followers on IG, and I was telling the audience here that some of their favorite entertainers and athletes follow your page. So can you give me just a list of some of the big dogs that follow your page, the Hype Leaks?
Yeah, I mean, I guess a few that come to mind off the bat would be Derrick Henry's probably the biggest one right now, I guess, and the most prominent with, the past season that he just had. Michael Phelps checks out the page a lot. Aaron Donald's been spotted a few times. A lot of NBA players, Devin Booker, those sort of guys.
So that's cool. So let me ask you this. I know yours is a little different because it's not necessarily a patented product, although we had talked about the trademarks and the importance of trademarks for your business. But I'm at the Shark Tank reunion conference here that's filled with only exclusively Shark Tank guests over the last 16 seasons. And there's been a lot of great information exchange and some great connections that have been made over the last couple of days. How important has Shark Tank been for you? Because at some point, we all have kind of watched Shark Tank, an episode here or there. So how important has Shark Tank been for you kind of growing up in terms of the inspiration to kind of do something bigger and better with your brand, with your business?
Yeah, no, it's definitely had an inspiration. Growing up, I used to watch it purely for entertainment. And as I got older, probably later middle school, early high school is when it started to turn into the entrepreneurial passion that I found. So that's when I started watching it more for trying to gain as much knowledge as possible. And even when it comes to just simple things, learning like terms, for business that will help me out in the future, or even deeper skills like negotiation tactics on what some of the entrepreneurs used in negotiating deals that worked or didn't work, and I can apply that towards the future to help me out. So I think it's definitely played a big role.
No, and I like that. So you're pretty much saying, hey, Shark Tank has helped me out just from a business acumen, especially over the years, maybe early on, and more so for entertainment. But as you kind of start to think about business and kind of creating a business, now it became more so let me learn the terminology and how the negotiating tactics so that kind of when I'm kind of full-fledged into my business, I can kind of use the stuff that I'm picking up or learning on Shark Tank to help me out, to help me get an edge in business. It seems like, which is cool. And I think more people should definitely do that. Now, let me ask you this, me being an IP attorney, dealing with trademarks, patents, stuff like that, how important has intellectual property been to your business, the Hype Leaks?
It's been huge. In the past, when I've worked without having one in my back pocket, I've ran into some obstacles, whether it was infringing upon other people's because I didn't really know where the lines were drawn. That was just before I was as well knowledged as I am now in the topic. And so it's been a blessing, honestly, being able to not only learn about it, but also have the IPs for my business to make sure that I'm protected in the future for up and coming projects that we have coming out.
Nice. So let me ask you this: what trademarks do you currently have with kind of the business? Because one of the great things I love about trademarks is you can have a number of trademarks, from different logos to words to phrases. It's a number of things that you can trademark, and it seems like with your business being an apparel company, trademarks will be important kind of to protect that brand. So can you talk just a little bit about the trademarks that you currently have?
Yeah, so I currently have 2 right now. One of them's we trademarked our name, so the Hype Leaks. So we have that, and then we also have our slogan, which is nothing but sneakers. And so it's pretty much just to protect when we're putting it on our apparel and merchandise that no one can come and rip us off.
No, I got you, and that's good information. Definitely want to kind of protect the brand, protect kind of what you guys are doing over there. Let me ask you this, because you started this thing when you, from my understanding, kind of in high school, and this kind of grown, and you're still even I think a senior in college out there in Arizona. So how important? Because I met Mickey, which is the person who's kind of putting on the Shark Tank or organizing the Shark Tank conference. His son first got his patent back maybe in middle school, and now he's a senior year in high school, and his business is doing 7 figures, which is over $1 million generated in revenue, which is amazing. I'm not sure how I would be if I was in high school and I had a company that was making over $1 million in revenue. So let me ask you this: what advice would you give to especially the younger generation as they're growing up in middle school, in high school, or even in college, about becoming entrepreneurs, becoming business owners, having products? You definitely can speak to that, just because you started when you were young and kind of still going through it when you're young. Typically, you think about business owners being maybe in their late 20s, in their 30s, but you're doing this in your teens and early 20s. So can you kind of speak to that, and how what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs who are doing it, who are trying to do it, or maybe looking to do it, especially them being younger?
Mm-hmm. I'd say go for it. I mean, if you already have the vision and the drive at a young age, that's such a big advantage. And that was something that other people had told me from the outside looking in that I didn't realize that I had over people. So if you have that passion, just go for it immediately, because you have such a head start on so many of these people. Because when you have people going through like high school and college, a lot of them don't know what they want to do with their life. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you can kind of find something that you're passionate about and that can take you far in life, go for it, because it can set you up for success to where by the time you're 30, you already have a decade's worth of work that people who are kind of just starting out, you already have a decade worth of work to present yourself and kind of take another step in life to where you could set yourself up for great success. And so, I mean, I'm in the midst of do that too. So I just say go for it.
I like that. And now I'll probably get you up out of here on this. What advice, I mean, not what advice, but this is probably the most important thing. How can people, number one, follow you, what you have going on the social platforms, and more importantly, buy the product? Because you have some pretty dope product as well in terms of clothing and things like that. So how can people follow what you have going on at the Hype Leaks, as well as kind of buy the product?
Yeah, so I mean, you can check us out on Instagram, the Hype Leaks. You can check us out there. Currently, we're sold out of our last drop, so we're working on another one for this quarter. That should be dropping within the next couple months or so. But yeah, I guess just follow us on Instagram and stay tuned.
I got you, man. Well, thank you again, number one, because you were supposed to come on yesterday, but just having something kind of got pushed back today. So definitely appreciate you still giving me some time here today. I know you're kind of busy. I can only imagine, especially college student running a business, so you have a lot going on. Let me ask you this, because again, I know you're a big sports fan. Who do you have today? The Bills, Kansas City, Washington Commanders, Philly. Who do you have going to the Super Bowl and ultimately winning the Super Bowl?
I got Bills Commanders Super Bowl, and I got Bills winning the Super Bowl.
Hey, man, look at So you got the Commanders beating the Lions, beating the Eagles. Do you think they're a better team, or do you just rooting for them because you like Jalen Daniels?
I think they just got hot at the right time. I mean, I think it just comes down to that.
Yep. You said you had who winning the Super Bowl?
Bills. I think Josh Allen gets his ring.
Yeah, yeah. And look I know I was kind of talking to someone earlier about who I had winning. I wouldn't be mad. Josh Allen, he's been at it for a long time trying to get past Mahomes. So if he
Yeah.
win, I can't be mad. But I kind of ruling for Jalen Hurts and those boys, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley. I know he's been through a lot over there in New York, so I couldn't be mad if Philly winning as well. But I guess I got Philly and Buffalo going to the Super Bowl, and maybe Philly winning it all. So we'll see. We're going to kind of
Yeah.
try to get to a TV here this afternoon and watch the game as well. But again, I appreciate you again, Isaac, for hopping on this one with me and talking to me a little bit about your business. And again, man, we'll definitely be in touch.
Yeah, of course, man. We'll keep in touch.
All right, Isaac, take care. Go
Have a good
check
one,
out
man.
the Hype Leanks, people. Yep, take care.
Yep.
So we are still here live at the Shark Tank Reunion Conference 24 here in Tampa, Florida. Like I said before, man, the weather has gotten progressively better each day. I know when I got here on Friday, it was a little chilly, man. Your boy was coming from Detroit, and it was about 10, 15 degrees when I left Detroit, and it was only about 40, 50 degrees here in Tampa. I packed a lot of shorts, and I was thinking I was going to be able to kind of get out here in shorts and a T-shirt and get out on these Tampa streets, but that wasn't the case, unfortunately, due to the weather. But yesterday it was pretty warm, and today I think is the best day. I'm not sure what the temperature is. Let me check out the temperature here in Tampa. But today has definitely been the warmest day. Let's see here. We have one more guest coming on here. Vseat. Oh, it's almost 70 degrees today, 68 degrees. So, man, it's like I said, it's definitely warmer here today here in Tampa, Florida. We have one more guest coming on. Again, please check out or subscribe to the extent that you are not subscribed to the channel, Everything Intellectual Property. I would love to have you a part of the IP community where, man, it's a lot of different things that we do. We bring on and interview people. A lot of the guests who's been on Shark Tank. We kind of do current events that's going on throughout the country from an IP perspective, break those down, whether it's copyrights, trademarks, patents. We go attend different conferences like I am now at the Shark Tank Reunion Conference in Tampa, and we go live and kind of bring you guys these guests here and kind of do some breakdown interviews. And again, we also go live, talk about IP lawsuits and kind of weekly recap on the IP landscape that's going on throughout the country. Like I said, we have one more guest coming on, Brian, who's the co-founder of Vseat, which, again, I'm going to have him explain to you guys what Vseat is when he gets on. But Vseats kind of just give you a little bit of a preview on that. Is a bike seat that's a noseless bike seat. So I know you typically have the bike seat, and for those of you who have rolled bike seats, you know you have that kind of nose portion that can be discomforting to say the least for your private area. But what Brian and the team over at Vseats, they've created a noseless bike seat that essentially doesn't give you that discomfort, and it seems like Brian is on now, so I'm going to pull him up and let him give you the more kind of professional breakdown of what they're doing over there at Vseat. So how's it going, Brian?
Hey, what's up, David? Good to see you again, man.
Good to see you as well, and I'm glad that you're able to kind of get on and kind of talk to us a little bit about what you guys are doing over there at Vseat, doing some great things. Can you describe for the audience? And again, first of all, go check out my full interview with Brian that we did a while ago on the channel. It was like a 50-minute or so interview where Brian, he gave us a lot of jewels on kind of just the process of kind of manufacturing and owning the company and protecting the IP and all that stuff. So he definitely gave a lot of good jewels. So definitely go check out that full interview that we did earlier on. But I guess, Brian, for the audience, can you kind of break down a little bit of Vseat, what it is, describe the product a little bit for the audience that maybe is kind of watching this for the first time?
Yeah, sure. So Vseat is it's a noseless and bumpless bicycle seat. If you've ever gone for a long ride, you probably start to feel a little pain down in the nether region, maybe some numbness, and it could be afterward as well. And so we created a seat that doesn't do that, so that there's zero pressure on any of the I guess your nether regions is what we'll call it. Yeah, so we came up, we started with the idea, and then the very first thing that we did after we had the idea is we got our patents and our IP protected. And that was awesome. That was sort of the, I guess, a marker that said, okay, we got something here, and now we can continue to move forward from this point, feeling protected with our IP. And then, of course, we had to make the product, and now we're in the sales and marketing phase, which is its own fun challenges. However, that being said, once again, it's having proper IP and all that stuff lined up and ready to go. Makes you feel protected when you go into that, so you're not nervous that you're about to launch this thing out there, and someone's going to take it and run, or as we say, I guess you could say, ride with it. So
Right. There you go. No, yeah, no, and again, man, I rode a number of bikes, and that's one of those things that, as definitely not a cyclist, but those are one of those things for me as maybe the kind of the common rider, where you almost don't want to ride a bike just because of the discomfort that a normal bike seat, having that nose portion kind of in your kind of private area, can just cause discomfort and make you say, man, I don't even want to ride the bike. So what it is that you guys created at Vseat with the noseless seat is amazing. And let me ask you this, because again, we're at the Shark Tank conference here in Tampa, Florida, and you are a prior Shark Tank guest. So how has Shark Tank inspired you kind of growing up? We know it's been 16 years and running that the show has been on, and at some point everybody has watched the episode or so. And again, you have the fortunate of the fortunate of actually being on the show. But I guess even prior to being on the show, how has Shark Tank inspired you from a business standpoint, from a creative standpoint, to kind of create and protect and really kind of go into this entrepreneurship journey for yourself?
yeah, sure. I mean, I can start by saying Shark Tank was an absolute blessing. I mean, it's incredible that you can have an idea and you get on the show, and whether or not you get a deal, you get to pitch to these incredible entrepreneurs themselves, people who know exactly what they're talking about. And it makes it ups your game. I mean, it's when you're going to have to do this, then all of your preparation beforehand is like really making you function at an A+ level, because you want these people's advice and you want these people's help. They know exactly what they're talking about. It's funny though, it's one of the first questions that we were asked is, do we have patents? Like right off the bat, do we have patents? And fortunately my partner's, she's very thorough. You could say, we talked about it on our episode a little bit, David. But our answer to that question, when they asked if we have patents, we go,
sure.
Yeah, we have 6 of them. And then they're like, whoa, okay, like that's pretty amazing. But I mean, the whole show in itself is just a complete class act. I'm sure you can, as you talk to some of your other people around there, and with that reunion, I'm sure most people would say the same thing. It's the show's awesome. The sharks are awesome. If you can get on that show, it helps your business. Incredible. I mean, we went from our idea of a bike seat that we were selling and we're out there, to actually feeling like now we're on the map. Like now we are actually recognized as, this is an option that's out there. And before that, we didn't really have that feeling of it being I mean, we were out there and we're selling, but we didn't feel like we were on the map. And now we're like, we're on the map and we're up and coming, and we're not going to stop now at this point, which is really cool.
No, and again, I know something that we talked about in our first interview, discussing Vseat, and I'm not sure if you have an actual seat that you can show. Please do if you have one handy. But you think of just a person
15.
riding a bike. You think of just a person riding a bike. However, when we talked, I didn't realize, like, if you're kind of doing at the gym and you're on one of those stationary bikes, this is something that you can use it for. With the whole kind of boom of the e-bike, this is another thing that kind of becomes important, especially for an older crowd as kind of are using the e-bike. So this Vseat has a lot of it can be used in a lot of different applications outside of your traditional bike that you're riding. Like I said, the electric bike, the stationary bike and so much more that you can use your Vseat on, correct?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So here's the Vseat for anyone who hasn't seen it for what it is. And as you can see, it is noseless and it is bumpless. Our medical advisor, he always said that the most ideal bike seat you can have is wide, flat, and no nose. And that's essentially what we did here. Now, to answer your question about how what it's applicable to, because of these seat rails, this will go on, I don't know, 95% of the bikes out there that use a bracket rail system that go on there. And that includes your spin bikes, your e-bikes, your touring bikes, like whatever the bikes are, most of them use a rail bracket system. Sometimes the bracket's different with depending on the type of bikes, but most of them use rails. So this is what we're selling. It's the bike seat on these rails, which will attach to any of that stuff. Now it's funny you brought up, spinning is who in this year in 2025, we really want to start to go after bigger corporations and get some corporate accounts under it. Our direct to consumer business is great. Also, we have Shark Tank to thank for that, most of that. And so now we want to get in stores and we want to get in gyms and things like that. So we're going to be going after the spinning studios to start. And then after that, we want to go after the e-bike market. As we say, a V-seat and an e-bike together is like peanut butter and jelly. Because now it's the e-bike crowd is an older crowd of people that had ridden bikes when they were kids, and they haven't gone back to riding a bike because it can be hard or challenging, or they live in a terrain that's not conducive to that. But with an e-bike, none of that matters. They can go anywhere they want. So you see this older crowd all of a sudden are just buying these e-bikes like crazy, almost as if it's like kind of like the new automobile industry. So e-bikes are flying off the shelf, and we want to put V-seats on them because with this older crowd, the older the crowd, and you'll notice this as you get a little older, David. But when you get older, you get less tolerant of pain and uncomfortable things where you're like, you know what, like I'm just not going to do it. And so that's why we say the V-seat and an e-bike together it's the greatest combination, because you got comfort and you got a bike that you can ride anywhere, and that's just fun. Overall fun. You could be having a horrible day. You're going, you know what, I'm going to go out, I'm going to cruise my bike, and by the time you get home, you're in a better mood. So that's kind of where we want to go.
I like that. With that. So I just have two more things for you, and I'll let you get up out of here. And again, I appreciate the time here this afternoon. I guess number one, how important is community? Again, just being at the Shark Tank conference here in Tampa, Florida, I've kind of understood the importance of community with being able to kind of bounce things and off each other and see what's working, with other people and kind of helping each other out with their business. And obviously, again, you're a part of this Shark Tank community, having been on Shark Tank. So how important from a business perspective and kind of, helping sell more products and things like that, to be a part of the community, to be able to lean on and see what's working in business, see what's not working, maybe helping out with, copycats and things like that. How important is community to growing a business and kind of, scaling and kind of moving up to the next level in business?
Sure. As usual, you ask really great questions. I would say it's right up there with profit. Just about, obviously every business, you have to make a profit or you don't have a business. Next in line, next to that would be your community. Especially because the business world it's not like it's a static world. It's very much the opposite. It's dynamic. It's always changing, and your customers are changing and the styles are changing. And if you have a community that you guys can talk about that and let each other know, here's what we found, then you can grow stronger, you can grow better, more robust. I would say it's your community is like I said, it's right up there with profits. Everything comes down to who you know. I mean, you can buy things to a certain extent, but that's it. You can only buy things to a certain extent. At some point, you need people in the right places, or you need the motivation of your community to keep going. If you don't have your motivation, it doesn't matter if you're making profits or not, because you have no more motivation. And that's where I think a community would help out as well, with that. That's pretty cool. I haven't gone to, because we just our episode aired last year, or last April. We haven't gone to any of these reunions for that, but we want to go. So please tell everybody we say hi and that we will be there one time, because I'd imagine it's a great community of people.
No,
It's
no, for sure. No, it definitely seems like it's been a lot of great information shared. And for me, just being an IP professional, IP attorney, as well as just kind of doing the podcast, I've been able to pick up on a lot of good stuff that I can implement and make a lot of good connections. And one thing on the community aspect, I was maybe talking, I think, to Megan, the inventor of Swift Paws, and she was on Shark Tank, and she was saying, I think she did a deal. No, it was someone who did a deal with Mark Cuban. They were saying that, hey, they had their product wrongfully taken off like Amazon or whatever the case may be, and they're going through all these channels to try to kind of get it kind of put back up. And next thing you know, they leaned on Mark, called Mark's team, and it was kind of put back up instantly. So kind of going back to community and who you know and how that can be so important to kind of help you in business. I think that was a kind of underscores the point of the importance of community. And I guess I'll get you up out of here on this. And maybe this is the most important thing. How can people follow you? How can people follow what you guys are doing at Vseat, and more importantly, how can people purchase the actual product?
Yeah, cool. Thank you for asking that. You purchase through our website. That's at www.thevseat.com. And then it's pretty simple and straightforward. You just pick the color you want, and we can have it shipped to you within a couple days. So we're ready to go. We got lots of seats to ship, and we use 2-day shipping with FedEx, so we can get it pretty fast to people. And then we have socials. If you just searched Vseat, you can find us on that. Hopefully, I'm going to cross my fingers, look for us in stores towards the end of this year. That's our big goal this time. I guess that would be another thing with community, right? somebody would know how to get in there. So yeah, it's anyway. David, I love what you're doing. For anyone who's listening, IP is where it all starts. I've had a couple conversations with David now, and he's very, very intelligent. And I guess our only regret is we wish we would have found you before we went through all of our IP stuff. But hey, there's plenty more things to make and plenty more things to use our IP for. So we'll be giving you a call as soon as we need something.
No, for sure. And again, I just thank you for sharing your story. And I know it was an IP panel earlier, and they were talking about the importance of kind of IP, particularly like you said at the beginning, as you were kind of outlining the strategy and kind of where you want to go with the business, and kind of getting that IP strategy and kind of things protected early on can help you down the line. So definitely glad that you were able to get, again, trademarks on the name and the seat protected. And definitely, audience, please go purchase the Vseat. As Brian said, not only is it 2-day shipping, but you don't have to, it's not a one color thing. You can get it in blue or yellow or whatever color that you want, if I'm not mistaken, or at least a number of colors. It's not okay. Correct. If you kind of want more than just a black seat or your typical maybe gray seat or whatever the case may be, and you want to kind of stand out and whatnot, definitely go check out Vseat. They're going to ship it fast. They're going to provide a number of color waves, and it's a quality product. And again, they sent me one of them, so I have one. So definitely go check it out. And again, Brian, thanks again for giving me some time. And hopefully next year, I'm gonna definitely tell everybody that you said hello, and hopefully next year I can see you in person. That was another one of the cool things. I've kind of interviewed a lot of Shark Tank guests over the last year or so, and again, a lot of those interviews have been video or whatnot, but just being able to kind of see people in person. Megan Wolfgram with Swift Paws, Kim with Click and Carry, and Carolyn with Overplay, just being able to see people in person and kind of fellowship and network with them. That's been pretty cool. So hopefully next year or sometime soon, I get a chance to see you in person, Brian, and get a chance to kind of network and kind of grow the relationship. So thanks again for doing this here this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Well, I'll let you go. I think you're out on the West Coast, so I'll let you go. Thanks again. And audience members, please go check out Vseat, go purchase the product. And I'm pretty sure we'll be in contact sooner rather than later, Brian.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks a lot, David. You take care.
Absolutely. You as well. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, That's pretty much it. Audience, again, I think that's a great time. I think it's lunchtime now. What time is it? We're in Florida, so it's East Coast time. It's 1:05. I think lunch starts here in another 5 minutes. Hopefully you enjoyed this, like I said at the beginning. To the extent that you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, Everything Intellectual Property, as well as hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Like I said, I'm trying to provide you not only advice and games and tips for kind of business and protecting your IP, but I'm bringing on people to tell their journey and tell how important IP was in their journey in kind of business and being an entrepreneur. So again, hopefully you guys enjoyed this live segment. And until next time, you guys take care. And as always, protect that IP. Peace.